downtown Old Havana. As I was driving in last night, the overwhelming impression was that of a Mad Max movie or a post-apocalyptic thermonuclear war with everyone living in basements and scrounging what they could amongst total chaos and anarchy. But I went for a walk last night, and in the light of day this morning, it's actually not quite that bad. Everyone's very friendly. There's no police hanging around. There's no threat of violence, although there is very high security here. My comfortable room is 4 stories up, and there's 4 separate keys required for me to get into my room. So there's numerous levels of security here. I've been given special permission to go through the barrier up into the bell tower. Wow, what a fantastic view it is. Looking out over the old port city. Information here for me is a bit light on because everything is in Spanish, but I gather this was built around 1500 odd, 1550, by the Spanish, of course, as protection against pirates. Very, very heavily fortified port city with a lot of big cannon. Well, where better to have a genuine Habano cigar than here in Havana. There's a real buzz about the place. It's got an energy that I haven't seen in Western cities. Everyone's just wandering around having a good time, and there's a great buzz here. A few things I've noticed. There's no beggars as such, but everyone's on the make. People will come up and befriend you and be your long lost friend, but at the end of it they ask you for some money for lunch because they're so hungry. There's a big spread of wealth here too. There's some people here that look pretty well to do, but there's a lot of people that sort of seem to just live from day to day. Now that warrior, Che Guevara, is that how you say it? Who was executed by firing squad years ago. He is everywhere. He's even on building faces made out of steel. He was obviously a very big hero, and this is obviously still a very large... Havana is still very much a communist state, and Cuba in general, I guess. Inefficiency is generated by the lack of capitalism. There's a few banks, and there's huge queues in all of them. Even getting something to eat, more often than not, there's really big queues. Although there's 2 main areas here. One is the tourist centre, which looks after tourists very, very well. And then there's the real world. Another thing is they don't accept any credit cards that are affiliated with American banks. So my Australian credit cards do not work. So if you're coming here, you need to bring cash. There's no rate at all for Australian dollars, although there's rates for a lot of other currencies. And Australians seem a relatively rare commodity here. As people have asked me where I'm from, it's obviously pretty unusual to see an Aussie. Although interestingly, remember the Skippy series? The producers obviously sold that to Cuba because everyone knows Skippy and they all make that kangaroo sound. It's quite funny actually. Everyone's got a friend who works in a Cuban cigar factory. There's a lot of imitation Cubans here. They do a pretty good job on the boxes. I did end up buying some because they were so cheap, and I think they're genuine. I've smoked one and it is actually quite good. But there certainly are a hell of a lot of imitation Cubans. Oh, he works in the cigar factory and he is allowed to take one box home every week. Yeah, right.